Obama now facing some of his biggest critics, fellow Democrats saying that he caved in the Republicans after consistently saying this before the compromise of last night.
I'm not about to add $700 billion to our deficit by allowing a permanent extension of the tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans.
So what about that? Mary Catherine Ham, senior writer, Daily Caller, Fox News contributor. How you doing, MK? Good morning to you.
Good. How are you doing?
Maria Cardona, former senior advisor to Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign, former DNC director for the Democrats. Good morning to you, Maria. How you doing?
How are you, Bill?
I'm doing just fine, ladies.
Good.
He's taking it hard, huh? I mean, Jim McDermott's he's a Democrat, and he's from Washington State. He says this is his Gettysburg. Anthony Weiner's a Democrat from New York on the screen. They see this deal as punting on third down. It seems the president is not seeing the value of being on offense. Maria, how you feeling about this? You ticked off, or you okay with it?
Well, you know what? Compromise is sometimes necessary. And in this era where you have Republican intransigence, where they absolutely insist on taking middle-class tax cuts hostage in order to give the top income earners and millionaires and billionaires their bailout and their bonuses, then I think that the president is doing the right thing. He's putting the welfare of America's middle-class families and workers before politics.
Okay, so
it's not something that all Democrats want, but it's necessary.
I got you. You're bucking the liberal trend. Mary Catherine, can you declare a winner here, or did the American people win?
Well, I think if you check the decibel level of complaining on either side among partisans, you'll find that the left is a little bit more mad than the right. That's not to say that the right is completely happy, as always happens in compromises, but we certainly do have a shift here, not only in Obama's rhetoric, but in the rhetoric of Democrats. As you remember, the warfare analogies, Waterloo, was the rhetoric of Republicans a couple years ago, and now we've got the Gettysburg analogy going on. So he's certainly hurting with the left side.
I tell you, Mary Catherine, you know, it's going to be interesting as we get ready for this vote in Congress. I mean, the temperature's only going to rise more. The whole reason why this is even significant is because then Senator Obama, I mean, this was his demarcation point. This is what he told me in London in the summer of 2008, in July, when it comes to tax cuts. Roll it and listen here.
The people who are going to see their income taxes go up are making more than $250,000 a year. So you and I will pay a little bit more in taxes because we can afford it. And what that allows us to do is to help the vast majority of Americans who are really hurting in this economy.
All right, so that was his position, Maria.
And you know what?
It continues. Was then, and this is now.
Absolutely. But you know what? That continues to be his position. And he insisted on that last night when he was making the deal. He was very clear that this is not something that he wants to do. He was very clear that he is putting the welfare of America's middle-class families and workers first, because he was not willing to gamble for their taxes to go up. Unfortunately, the Republicans were willing to take that gamble because they were putting their priorities, which is Americans, millionaires, and billionaires first, as opposed to America's middle-class families. We see very clear where the parties are.
The argument you're making is that this is good for President Obama. Mary Catherine?
And for America's middle-class families.
Could it be? But strictly with the president right now, Mary Catherine.
Look, it's certainly not good for Obama with liberals who are very upset with him about this. And I don't think this isn't about Republican intransigence. I'm against the liberals on this point, which is that I think they're not terribly understanding of the position that Obama's in, which is that the country moved right. It made a decision in November, and it made it very loud and clear. And they actually don't feel like the tax cuts were being held hostage, and they're not terribly upset about the extension. So I think he had to make some sort of compromise because the country shifted, not because Republicans are real mean. I mean, he has to respond to that. So in that way, it might actually work out for him if people see him turning a corner and they change their minds about him a little bit.
Mary, I'll give you the last word quickly.
I do think that this will be good for Obama, but importantly, to Mary Catherine's point, the majority of the American people don't think that the tax cuts for the wealthy should be extended permanently. And let's keep in mind, this is not a permanent extension of those tax cuts, which is why the president only did it for 2 years.
And he's going to have to argue about it in 2012, and who on the left is going to believe him that he's not going to cave once again?
Because
he's ready to take that argument.
It hits in the campaign of 2012 when this expires and it comes up for debate again. Ladies, thank you, Maria.
And he's ready to take that fight. Thank you, Bill.
Mary Catherine, thank you. Ladies, wear your Kevlar down there. There's going to be a lot of shrapnel in the coming days, coming weeks even. So happy holidays. See you later.
Thank you, you too.